What up, y'all? It is episode 12 of the Infinite Agent Podcast. This is such a great morning. Just kidding. Afternoon. And breaking news, we have 52 subscribers. Our goal, if you were watching last Wednesday, was to get to 50.
It was.
Brooks posed it, and we hit it, and now we're at 52.
Exceeded.
Man, did you pay those extra two people, Brooks, to hit
I
that
did.
goal?
I created extra Gmail addresses and signed up myself.
Oh, so 3 of those are you? Fantastic. We won't tell
It's
the
a magic
audience.
number.
Can we edit that out? Oh, crap, we're live. Brooks, what up? Good to talk to you.
Good, thanks.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Jonathan.
Jason, we got an action-packed episode today. How you doing?
Yes, we do. I'm doing great, Jonathan.
As we were talking off air, Taylor, we got some good stuff ahead. I can't wait to... I'm glad you're back, Taylor. We got some good stuff today. How you feeling?
I'm feeling all right, man.
You know, I was thinking about you, Taylor. They just did a music festival, Christian music festival last night in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Jamie
Really?
McDonald played, some other
Nice.
Christian artists. I was like, I bet Taylor was in Pigeon Forge last night.
Spent all week there like 2 weeks ago.
How is it?
It's amazing and beautiful and perfect.
So I promised somebody that we would now start adding this to the podcast because we have a viewer that is out of state. She watches religiously, and she said, would you please tell us what time it is where y'all are every episode? So, Jason, I'm going to let you do that. Time and date and what time zone we're in.
Today is Wednesday, August 27th, and we are 3:44 p.m. Central Standard Time.
And what's the temperature?
A balmy 90 degrees.
Is it really? Is it 90
is.
degrees?
It is.
You know, I heard about this. We're going to go to the chat in just a second. So you have a few more seconds to get in the chat, and we'll give you a shout out either in the YouTube comments or the Facebook Live. But we have what is called a cool front coming through, and I heard that it is here today. So I guess cool front's just 10 degrees off 105 or something. Like, what is it really?
It's
91
starting.
degrees?
It's actually 91. Yeah.
Okay. So when is this cool front coming? Is it like starting today and getting cooler, or what?
So it hit the 80s yesterday, which is low for Texas this time of year. Today jumps up to the 90s, and tomorrow and for the next 5 to 6 days, projections in the 80s again.
The high of 80s?
High is in the 80s,
Oh.
yeah.
That's really rare for Texas in the summertime to have a
Super
high of
rare.
80s.
Yeah.
Especially August, yeah.
If you're grateful for a little bit of cool front, would you put something in the chat that lets us know you're grateful? And let's go check the chat now. Christian Solis is on YouTube watching live. Ooh, he gives a shout out. Brooks looking like me with the stash and leading our emoji battle. That's one emoji. So that is the lead right now with the praise hands. Greg Potts says cool front with how many exclamation points? Brooks, you're closer than I am. I can't even see how many that is. It's so many.
It's like 6.
All right, so the exclamation train leading is Greg Potts with 6 exclamation points, with a freeze face emoji, a snowflake emoji. So he's in the lead with 2 emojis. Greg Potts, you're winning. And Kimberly Ann Adams says it was rally nice this morning. Angel face emoji and sparkling heart emoji. I agree.
I have to agree with that. It was rally nice.
Yeah, here's the thing. My parents got back from Japan last night. They did a 2-week cruise to Japan because my grandfather started Tokyo Baptist Church years ago.
Wow, that's really cool.
And my mom said, we're going to go back. We want to see Tokyo Baptist Church. And if you haven't been to Japan, which maybe some of our viewers have been, so if you've been to Japan, drop that in the chat. If you haven't been, drop that in the chat. Japan is like 100 Manhattans. Okay, so you have 100-story buildings, 200-story buildings, but you have thousands and thousands of them.
Wow.
So you can be standing in the street and all you can see is 100 to 200-story buildings, but then you step out in the middle of the road, and as far as you can see down that street, down that street, down that street, down that street in Japan, in Tokyo particularly,
Right.
is just, as far as you can see, it's 100-story high-rises.
Oh, wow.
Now, the cool thing about Tokyo Baptist Church, my grandfather was one of the founding members of this church in the 60s, and my mom was actually born in Tokyo while he was founding that church, and that church is still a 1-story building on a full city block.
Wow.
Downtown Tokyo. So like billions of dollars of dirt that it sits on a 1-story building. So my mom and dad made a cruise out of it. They flew to Vancouver, hopped on another plane to break up the flight, flew to Japan, hopped on a cruise. They got back last night and they said it was 95 degrees in Japan. Well, Japanese don't know how to handle that kind of heat. For us, that's called a cool front.
Yeah.
For Japanese, they have, they're like 10 or 12 years ahead of us in electronics. They had all these fans that somehow mount to their shoulders and sit in front of them. So they all had like water-cooled air conditioning blowing fans on them.
Okay, so I actually saw this online, and I had to look it up to see if it was real. in some of these cities like that, they actually wear coats in the summer
Yes.
that are air conditioned.
Yeah, they have they have little water pockets and little battery powered, and they have
Yeah.
ventilation systems.
It's really crazy. I saw people with the jackets on, and it was super hot, and I thought, okay, that's got to be a joke, but no, it's a real thing.
It is a real thing, and if you see my suit leaking water, that's my ventilation system. That's not sweat. So
Right? Yeah. No,
And-
Brooks's is
Mental
sweat
note.
though.
Yeah, mine is always sweat.
yeah,
It's-
so good. So let's go to the chat. Then we're going to get right into some cool stuff today. Kevin Stone says, "How's bragging camp going on the Japan talk?" Yeah, absolutely. And Jose Torres says, "Never been, but on my bucket list, Japanese flag." That's one emoji. Blessings, comma, gentlemen, period. So thank you for that. We actually have a new leader in the emoji battle there. 3 emojis. Kimberly Ann Adams says, "Thank you, Jesus, double exclamation points for the cool down, double exclamation points." She put a heart sparkle emoji, a heart face emoji, and an angel face emoji, leaving the emoji battle first place to Kimberly Ann Adams. This is cool. I wanted to let you guys know that the Tom Ferry Success Summit is in Dallas today. So we have a lot of friends out there. And it's that time of year. It's that time of year where people are getting gritty about their knowledge, about being learning based, preparing for what's next year, which this is the time where a lot of teams, a lot of business owners, a lot of entrepreneurial men and women are business planning for 2026. So I want to just talk about that a little bit. Business planning for 2026, how we do it, what's important in your business plan, and then kind of how we do goal setting. And then kind of, I want to talk to the chat. So this is going to be a wide open episode in the chat. Guys, talk back and forth with us. Are you business planning yet? That's going to be our first question to the chat. Who is already thinking 2026 in the chat? Would you put that in there? And then Brooks, do you have your goals set for 2026, and kind of where are you? And Jason, kind of where are you in business planning for 2026? Brooks, you want to take it first?
Yeah. So we started that yesterday where we went through a needs analysis of what you need to be able to fill your current buckets on your mortgage, paying for your cars, paying for your other things, the lifestyle you have grown accustomed to. And then how much more homes do you need to sell in order to fill up your buckets for investment, to fill up your buckets for your savings, to be able to do the things that you got into real estate to do? And what we tend to see is that a lot of agents will wait until November, December to start planning for the next year. And so we've actually already started this here in August. And now with the cold front coming in, it's going to feel like winter. So you are going to feel comfortable starting your business planning early for Texas because of the cold front. But yeah, what I was getting at is that the key to it is that you will need to sell more homes than you think in your mind. One, so that you don't have commission breath.
Yeah.
You can handle fallout. And two, so that you can actually fill these other buckets and have profitable business for your savings, your investments, so that you can have a lifestyle once you are done selling real estate.
Brooks, how many homes do you have to sell next year to hit your goals?
To hit my goals, it's 75.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and you think about that, you know, if you apply that to not just real estate, but if you're watching and you're an entrepreneur of any kind and you're thinking about, man, I've got to sell this many cars, or maybe you're a hairdresser and I got to cut this many hairs, do this many haircuts, or see this many clients. I'm glad Brooks brought up the word fallout, because that's an awkward word. You know, that gives people a little bit of ick, because I don't want anything to fall out that I put under contract. However, when you business plan for that ahead of time, and you've already planned for a little bit of fallout, when one of your clients calls and says, "Hey, I just want to be honest with you. We just had this new baby. We're thinking of maybe not buying the car. We're thinking of maybe not getting our nails done every single week. We might have to go to like twice a month on manicures, or we might not be buying the house." You have the freedom to say, "Hey, I'm your consultant and I'm not a salesperson. So if that's what's best for you, I'm just serving to meet your needs." And fallout's okay.
100%. We talk about that on a daily basis because the answer is always more.
Yes.
The more business I have, the more hours I put into generating leads, the more contracts I have going, the easier it is for me to actually do what's right by my clients.
And it's important that the clients fully understand this, because a lot of clients say, well, I don't want an agent who can't focus on me as their sole person. And that's the exact opposite of what you need. You need someone who has so much business so that if you change your mind about purchasing, that they aren't going to lose their house. They're not pushing you to purchase a house because their mortgage is dependent on your closing. You want someone who is professional, but also someone who's going to do the fiduciary, put your needs ahead of that or their own. And the only way they can do that at a high level is by having more business than just you. And so this is a key difference that I think a lot of the consumers really need to understand, because they think that, oh, well, I'll just be a number to them.
That's a good point, because whenever people plan for business, when you've planned for it in advance, you're ready for anything that happens. And in just a few minutes, we have brought Jason, Brooks, and I worked hard on a 9-step business plan that we're going to share with you in just a few minutes on what's important to be in your business plan this year. And so let's go to the chat real quick, and then we're going to hop right back in, and we are going to give you the 9-step. This is an infinite agent model on how to have a business plan for 2026. If you like that, can I hear some applause in the chat? This will be awesome. Let's hear it. Ooh, all right. Sounds like they like it there. Avery Williams, oh my gosh. Kimberly Ann Adams, she's further pulled in the lead. I love emojis, exclamation points. They brighten up our conversations, double exclamation point. And I got to scroll up just a little bit because I can't see everything that she put there, but that's a lot of emojis. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got a daisy. We've got a rose. We've got a heart face. We've got a kissy face. We've got a sparkly heart. We got praise hand, smile, and angels. So she's leading the emoji battle with 7. Brooks Bell's watching live. I wish he would put in there city and state he's watching from. This might blow my mind. Brooks Bell, commercial real estate agent and broker, and also my nephew. What up, Brooks? And Jose Torres, he's in the battle with 4 emoji clappy hands. Bobby Miner is winning the exclamations with 46 exclamation points and 3 flame emojis. And Travis Addington is hoping for a shout out. He says, hey, Jason, period.
What up, Travis?
Man, this is great. You know, I think about something here. And Brooks, what is your goal for closings this year? Jason, what is your goal for closings this year? And then I'm going to get right into a comparison for next year.
Go ahead, Brooks.
He started with you.
Okay, I got it. So my goal is always to be between 75 and 100 transactions minimum. When we did the class yesterday, where we really talked about business planning, setting goals, coupling the personal expenses with business expenses, and making all that come together, I realized that next year my goal has to be 84 homes. For me to hit my numbers, now I'm at a different stage in life. I've got 2 kids in college, basically paying for 3 houses, 4 cars, 4 cell phones.
Golly.
So with all of that compounding, 2 tuitions, I need to sell a minimum of 84 homes in order to hit all my goals. And so there was a resounding kind of comment yesterday that I had from a lot of the agents that were in there, and that was that, like Brooks said, their numbers were a lot higher than what they expected. So a question I'm going to pose to everybody is, in order to hit your goals next year, do you have to become somebody that you're not today?
Wow. Can you say that one more time?
Yeah, in order to hit your goals, who do you have to become in order to make that happen? What do you have to change about yourself in order to hit your goals next year?
And I know that one of the fundamental things is your business will grow to the extent that you do. So what is your growth plan for yourself?
Yeah, this is really good because, you know, your business plan is not going to get written on your own. And I'm 12 years in the business. Jason, what about you? How long you been in the business?
Total 25, but I've only been on this side of the real estate table for 13.
And Brooks, how long you been in the industry?
13 years.
Yeah, so I want everybody to know I've been in for 12. So I want you to know who you're learning from and who you're at the table with. And oh my gosh, we need to go to the chat for a minute so we don't get behind. Kevin Stone says 9 steps, too many. Let's work on getting that to 5 or 6. Thank you, Kevin.
6-minute abs.
Yeah, that's so good. Everybody wants like a microwave moment on this. But this actually is, you know, Kevin's got a good point. Let's simplify this thing. This is actually a simplified way to a business plan. Bobby Miner gives us 3 emojis there, an infinite emoji. I don't know how he got that. That's awesome. A sideways face and a shaking head emoji. Kimberly Ann Adam with 7 waving hands. And thank you so much, Barry Bledsoe, live from Crowley, Texas. So here we go. We're going to get right into, I would say if you're taking notes, this might be the moment where you want to take some notes because I have I'm going to take the first 3, and then Jason is going to take 4 through 6, and then Brooks will take 7 through 9 on this. And I'm just going to read these to you because here's what's really important. Number 1, in the business plan, you have to start with an executive summary. And here's what, number 1, so that's an executive summary. It's a clear overview of your real estate business vision, your mission, and your unique value proposition. And so if you're not able to clearly tell people what your value proposition is, or your vision, or your mission to your team, you're going to fail. So an executive summary, and then to do that, you're summarizing your goals, short-term and long-term, and the markets you serve. So you got to talk about, am I residential versus commercial? Am I working both? Am I working luxury? Am I working investors? Not working investors, that type thing. So that's your executive summary. Number 2 is going to be your market analysis. So number 2 is market analysis. Now, this is where you look at local market trends, supply and demand, absorption rates, new construction, population growth. This is where you analyze the market that you're working in. Brooks, what market do you work in primarily?
North Texas.
Okay, North Texas market. So you're not looking at Arkansas. You're not looking at Oklahoma. When you're planning your market analysis portion of your business plan, you're looking at North Texas.
Yes, and mainly builders, and working to understand their incentives so that I can help my clients get the best bang for their buck.
I love that. And when you're doing your market analysis, what's your local market that you work in?
Same thing. I'm pretty much all of North Texas. If the price makes sense, I'll drive almost anywhere.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, and here's the way we break down number 2, the market analysis. Number 1, it's the local market trends. Number 2, it's your target market. Now, this is who you're working with. Do I want first-time buyers, investors, luxury clients, niche areas like farm and ranch, Gen Z buyers, baby boomers? And then you go on the third part of market analysis, you look at the competition. What are the other brokerages or teams? What do they offer, and where do you differentiate? Number 3, and this is one that a lot of people miss, and I want Brooks to talk about this, but this is services and revenue model. So this is where you detail your services, your listing representation, your buyer agency, your property management, your investments. This is defining how you make money through their commissions, referral fees, flips, investments, syndications. So when you're breaking down your services and revenue model, what areas do you tend to make money in?
So based on my time in the industry, I have worked it where I'm looking at how many listings and how many buyers.
Okay.
When our process is for taking a brand new agent and getting them through everything, one of the keys is that we don't just start brand new agents as listing agents. We let them learn the buyer side so that then they can inform the sellers how a buyer will view their house from their actual experience.
I love that. I love that.
And so that's the progression. And I think that the real key to understanding this, I'm open to referrals.
Yeah.
Though, as Jason said, it all comes down to the numbers. There's a point where a referral doesn't really make sense, especially at different price ranges and a different referral fee assessed. So that's one of the areas where it's a little bit of a moving target because you can't really set a standard on what your referral fee is. But one of the things that I do advise people that are looking to get into the industry is that if they have a full-time job, they get their license, they go to a brokerage, and then they find a good referral partner to refer individual buyers or sellers to while they are working to learn the business, have an agent that they could work with to learn it experientially at that time. And then the other part of that is that if they have a full-time job, they're not going to be able to get out there and show the clients.
Yeah, and before we get into number 4, and I think Jason's going to take us away on number 4 and 5 of a 9-step business plan. I think before we get into number 4, it's really important if you're a new agent out there or a new entrepreneur in any business, I want to give you the freedom to partner up on your first few deals with another agent, because I don't want you to look at it from the framework of, man, I don't want to split my commission and have to give somebody that's going to teach me something on my first few deals money. Well, when you think about education cost and how many years and how many thousands of dollars of mistakes they made, it's pretty cheap to go partner with somebody on your first few deals to kind of split the experience. Would you agree?
I would. The education you get is priceless. And we've had multiple agents inside our organization that have, right out of the gates, partnered with Brooks or me or one of the other agents on the team. And the speed to which they master real estate is exponentially increased.
Yeah.
We've had agents that have done exactly what you said, Jonathan, and I don't want to give up my commission. I want to hold this for myself. And their learning curve is much, much longer.
Yeah.
It takes them a lot longer. So in essence, I would say that the agents that partnered made more money faster than the ones that kept their own commission.
100%, because 100% of zero is always going to be zero.
Yeah, if you don't get that thing sold, you make nothing. And I think about the quote, more is caught than taught. And so I just came back 10 minutes ago from a co-listing with Be Certain, our boy Brian, in Lipan, Texas, on a farm and ranch deal. So we're listing a multi-acre Lipan ranch, and Brian said, "Hey, come out here. Would you help me co-list this?" And in real time, I showed him how I give value to tractors, how I give value to mineral rights, how I give value to a pond. Is the pond sealed? Is it going to dry up? Does the property have water or not? And he was able to catch a lot of things. He's like, "Wow, I didn't know how to do that. Show me how you." And more was caught than taught in that moment. Let's go to number 4. What's number 4?
Yeah, so number 4, you need to have a marketing and lead generation strategy. So you need to understand and decide what your online presence is going to be. Websites, SEO, which is search engine optimization, YouTube, social media. You need to identify what your presence is going to look like, and I think you have to identify who your target audience is going to be. And if you don't understand it, go find someone that does. There's plenty of people that we have in the Real Solution in our brokerage that are masterful at social media, Jonathan being one of them. And if you want to learn, they're open to telling you what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then I think any agent really needs to sit down with another skilled agent, especially if you're just getting into the business, and have a needs analysis based upon your personality profile and your resources to figure out how best to be able to deploy, 1, your money, and 2, your time.
That's really good.
Yeah, absolutely. You also need to identify your online presence and your offline efforts. So offline is going to be open houses, networking events, community sponsorships. I just spoke to a couple of young agents yesterday, and we were talking about this. Use your tools. Use what's at your disposal.
Yeah.
If I was talking to one he's Hispanic in heritage, and I told him, I said, there's so many organizations that are business related that are geared towards people of your heritage that I can't break into, but you can break into that. So have a strategy around open houses. Have a strategy for groups and organizations that you want to break into.
I love that, offline and online. We talk so much about online efforts, but maybe we give a little bit in 2026. Maybe someone out here is focused really heavily on online. Maybe they kill it online, but they think they kill it online enough to where they don't have to have what you just called offline efforts.
Offline efforts, yeah.
And Jason helped one agent go to one of the, they call them La Pulga, but it's basically a fair that happens on specific days.
Yeah, flea market.
Yeah, flea markets. And you taught that agent to go out there and solicit business, and they were finding tons of people to help sell their properties.
Yeah, we actually walked through. We did it on a whim just to see what it was going to do.
Wow.
And I was shocked at how many people were lined up to talk and said, I want to know more about buying a house. I want to know, I've got a house I need to sell. Can you help me?
And is that an example of online or offline?
Well, that's offline. I mean, you're actually going offline and going out there and looking for the business. And one of those agents that I encouraged to do that wound up with a connection that got her in the door at the consulate, the Mexican consulate in Dallas. And she has a booth there. I believe she still does it, meeting with everybody that comes in that door looking for help with immigration, help with their documents, or whatever that is. So little things that you can think, I'm going to call it outside the box, can turn into game-changing career moves.
Wow, I love this.
And the next one was, excuse me, I have to pull up my list again. Lead funnels. So you need to decide if you're going to do paid ads. Are you going to work referrals? Like Brooks said, what's the cost of that referral? Is it worth my time? Work your sphere of influence. That's a huge one for agents getting into business. Absolutely work your sphere of influence. Partnerships with builders and lenders. We teach classes all the time on partnering with strategic business companies, lenders, builders, title companies. you really need to build those and have your pipeline full of quality individuals.
Man, let's take a moment and go to the chat because we don't want to get behind. That's really good. So that was marketing and lead generation strategy for your business plan. Avery Williams says, I have to become more outgoing, exclamation point. Love that. She had an aha today. Thanks for sharing that aha, Avery. That's huge. Barry Bledsoe says, I have to become the new water boy of real estate, the next Johnny Real King Real Estate Group. I love that. And Bobby Miner, replying to Bobby Miner, FTSK. Thank you for that. So just to summarize, number 1 is your executive summary. Number 2 is your market analysis. Number 3 is your service and revenue model. Number 4 is your marketing and lead generation strategy. And then what's number 5, Jason?
Number 5 is operations and team structure.
Okay.
How are you going to structure your team and how are you going to organize it? Down to agents, admin, marketing, transaction coordinators. You not only need to know what these people are going to do, but you need to know when it's appropriate to put those in. Like Chad Smith talks all the time about you don't go out and hire buyer's agents until you master listings to the point where sign calls are coming in so prevalently that you have no other option but to hire buyer's agents. If you hire buyer's agents at the wrong time, you just brought people on that you're responsible for that you have to figure out a way to feed.
It's going to be crickets for them. And if you don't meet their goals and feed their mouths, you become a limiting factor.
Exactly.
To them. And
They're
they will
gonna
leave
leave
you.
And they will leave you 100%. So you need to learn your systems. What is your CRM going to be? What is your MLS access? What kind of lead follow-up systems? What kind of transaction management? If you may be with a broker that already has some of these outlined, but if you're not, go out and start talking. Identify what the best CRM is for the budget that you have.
Which one do y'all use?
We use Follow Up Boss.
What do you use, Brooks?
Follow Up Boss.
Okay. Yeah, we're using Follow Up Boss as well, and we use Zillow's CRM. Follow Up Boss has been great this year.
Yeah. And Zillow uses Follow Up Boss, and so there's tons out there like Go High Level. We used to use Boomtown. We've used RedX. So there's tons out there. You just got to do what Jason said and think about your budget.
Yeah.
It's all about the budget. Get the best that you can get for that dollar amount. Make it work the best it possibly can. When you start getting closings, upgrade.
What's the best CRM, Brooks?
It's the one that you use.
There you go.
That's
And whenever I joined Chad, we actually started using Gary Keller's CRM, which is where you have a little box of accordion folder, and you put your lead gen sheets in there based upon 30 days, and then you have one that's got 12 slots for the months. And whenever the month comes out, then we actually just used sheets of paper and accordion folders.
Wow.
So no matter what your budget is, there is a solution. You just may have to be more ingenuitive if you do not have the resources.
And just for everybody watching, that accordion folder paper system, it worked.
Yeah,
It did.
It still works. It's the
still
one
works.
you'll use. It's so the CR. There's no right or wrong CRM. It's just the one you'll use, and the one you don't use doesn't work. So
And you have to master the resources that you have.
yeah, 100%. What else you got on that?
Greg Potts said, Follow Up Boss Mastermind.
Golly, Greg Potts just took the lead on the exclamations. How many is that? We're going to go with about 61.
61 exclamation points. Great job, Greg Potts. So number 6 is financial plan. This is what we talked about yesterday in a meeting that we had with our organization. If you don't have a financial plan, you're missing the boat completely. So what are your startup costs going to be? Licensing, brokerage fees. What's your marketing budget? What's your tech stack? Brooks, you want to talk about what a tech stack is?
A tech stack is the type of information technology that you use that builds upon itself in order to make your job easier.
Like Follow Up Boss.
Yes.
Yeah, like tech stack can even be your iPhone. That can be part of your tech stack. I do my social media with my iPhone. Well, that's part of your tech stack.
That is part of your tech stack. Absolutely. This next piece is going to really be a cornerstone in your business, your operating budget. You need to understand what your monthly expenses are, down to the marketing, your staff costs, your office, your insurance. I mean, this goes to your cell phone bill, fuel in your car, the electricity bill at your office, the water bill, whatever those things are. You need to really understand what your operating costs are.
Yeah, I was talking to someone yesterday, meeting with a great agent in Fort Worth, and he said, is dress a part of my operating budget? I said, does it cost you money? He said, yes. I said, is it used for your business? He said, yes. I said, absolutely. I mean, I spend a certain amount of money every year on suits, on ties, on button-up shirts, on cologne, on, I mean, one of the greatest ways to kill a deal is to have bad breath and to stink when you get there. I mean, it's one thing to stink at your job, but it's another thing to repel clients when you're good at your job, but you open your breath and you've been drinking coffee, which a lot of us do in this industry, and you haven't covered up coffee with a nice mouthwash or a good breath mint. Or I know this sounds cheesy, but I've had agents on my team that when they talk to me, I can't even hear what they're saying because their breath reeks so bad. And then I've had agents on our team that when they come in, I'm like, what in the world cologne is that? That smells amazing.
Yeah.
I want to be in your presence. We want people as salesmen and saleswomen to want to be in our presence. And there are times where there's saleswomen in my presence, and I'm like, whatever you're wearing, I want to go buy that because I need to have that for my mom or a special lady in my life. And so take that as part of your business plan. How much am I going to spend on hygiene, but also where am I going to have the hygiene? If you're in your car and that's your mobile office, you need to have gum, breath mints, cologne, and deodorant, and hairspray.
Get you some Axe body spray.
Oh, my gosh. Yes.
So I do want to piggyback off of what you just said
Thank you for
because
that.
I think this is super important. When
Or
we're
Old
talking
Spice. Can we wear Old Spice
Old
too?
Spice, yeah, dude.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
making sure.
rocking
At a
the Old
certain
Spice right
age.
now.
Okay. What cologne do y'all wear? Is it Taylor? What cologne do you wear? I mean, you have to have a cologne that's killer.
Aqua di Gio.
Okay,
Nice.
What do you wear?
Whatever my wife buys me, I have no idea.
fantastic. Can your wife please put that in the chat? Brooks, what do you wear?
I don't wear any cologne.
Okay, fantastic.
He's all natural.
Man,
So-
I knew that musk was natural.
I do want to say that, when it comes to clothing and your appearance,
Yeah.
there's two things that I think are really important. Number one is if you're a real estate agent, when you file and create an LLC, when you're operating as an entity, as a business,
Yeah.
you actually create more write-offs for your taxes.
Well, this is go ahead and finish this statement because this is landing somewhere.
Yeah, you actually can write off everything from your haircuts to your clothing. All of this becomes a tax deductible item. So really, really work on that. But the point I really wanted to make is that it's about your budget. Again, it's like your CRM. Nobody's telling you to run out and spend thousands of dollars on close day one in real estate, but you can dress sharp
Yeah.
at any budget. I don't care if you're going to the thrift store and buying
Yeah.
nice. I've found all kinds of crazy stuff at thrift stores through my
Absolutely.
life. I don't care if you're going to Ross or Walmart. There you can find nice clothes that are going to be appropriate for the occasion.
Someone messaged us last week, and I didn't get to comment it because it was on the replay, not on the live. And I'm going to reply to that comment, and then we're going to go to the chat. But they said, when we were talking about suits last week, they said, Jonathan, where do you buy their suits? And I thought I didn't see it live because it was on the replay. And so I put a note in my phone to mention this, but I buy my suits actually at JCPenney. I buy a brand of suits called J. Farrar Slim, and these suits total are like $350. And it's funny because I go to conferences. I was just in Chicago at the national grand opening of Realty of America's headquarters, and someone came up to me, and it was actually a guy, so I knew he was being honest. He's like, Jonathan, where'd you get that suit? That looks sharp. And I was like, actually, JCPenney's $350. You don't have to, I mean, Baroni suits are great. The Man Shop in Arlington has great Italian suits. You can get custom fitted. But if you know your size and you're a pretty common size person, there are places like JCPenney that, Neiman Marcus, you can go get a $6,000 suit in a heartbeat. But you can also be smart and frugal with this stuff. And every dollar earned, every dollar saved is a dollar earned. If you go spend $1,000 on suits and we make the same amount of money and I spend $500 on suits, I just make twice as much as you because I make my dollar go twice as far.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was probably year 2 in real estate before I even went out and bought a suit. And I went to the Hagar outlet store,
Wow.
and I think I spent $99 for a suit.
Yeah, and we're blessed to have, if you live in DFW up by the Texas Motor Speedway, we have that whole entire Ross Perot development up there where they have all the outlets, Tanger outlets. They have Cole Haan up there. I get my shoes. Cole Haan's about all I wear if I'm not in boots, and I get those at the Cole Haan outlet at Tanger in North Fort Worth. Hagar Suits while you're up there has a store. It's just really cool whenever you're kind of sharing these ideas of, Jason, where'd you find that great deal? And Brooks, where'd you find that great deal? And when you're collaborating on ways to be frugal and smart with your money, we're better together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go to the chat real quick. Travis Addington. Wow, we're going to have to scroll up again. This is awesome. So this is funny. Barry Bledsoe says, there's no better smell than Pasha by Cartier. So thank you. Go check out that scent. someone above that, look at all this. Once we scroll up, we're going to see somebody is leading. Barry says, are we going to see a rate drop soon? Even more important, is it going to affect the real estate market with 66 question marks? So he's leading the diabolical question mark battle. And here's what we're going to do. Right after we get to 6, 7, 8, and 9 of the business plan, which we're about to finish with, we're going to finish with a real estate rate drop breaking news moment. So that's coming in about 3 minutes. Travis Addington says 60% of the time, ... It works every time. So thank you for that. Taylor Perky replying to Travis, yes, with 3 laughing emojis. So Trailer's in third place with the diabolical emoji race. Avery Williams says, I guess my perfume addiction will pay off. LOL. I love it. And Judson Stafford says, Dirty Dillard's, referring to the Six Flags Mall Dillard's store that is still there. 80 to 90% off is not unheard of in Dirty Dillard's.
No, Dirty Dillard's is actually pretty solid.
Oh, actually, that's at Forum 303 Mall. I forgot about that. Anybody remember Forum 303 Mall?
And I would like to point out Kevin Stone's comment. Those flip-flops were just for you, Kevin.
Do you constantly show homes in flip-flops? Because he says, definitely remember when Jason showed homes in flip-flops.
Yeah, that's Kevin and I are romantically involved. So,
Oh, my gosh.
he actually gets a little
my
special
gosh.
treatment.
All right, moving right along.
New announcement.
Yeah. Number 7. Brooks, you want to take this one because this one's really important. Number 7 on the business plan.
Branding and positioning. Define your brand, logos, colors, messaging, and how clients perceive you, reputation, strategy. This is key right here. Reviews, referrals, and community involvement. You must drive reviews because they are your advocates 24/7.
Yeah. It's interesting that Brooks touched on community involvement because if you are operating in an area, but nobody ever sees you giving back, they're going to start seeing you as selfish, narcissistic, stuck up, egotistic. Like any saleswomen and salesmen that have any kind of success, there's already that stigma like all she's about is herself. All she's about is her commissions. All she's about is her business, her brand, her logo. But part of being a business owner, businessmen, businesswomen is to guerrilla market, to be top of mind by being everywhere. But by default, by being everywhere, people are like, how conceited. He just wants to see his brand, his name, his team everywhere. But once they see, wow, he's involved. He's at my school. He's giving back. He's paid for all the teachers to have Chick-fil-A in the teacher's lounge. He's donated and his name's on the banner at my son's football field. Community involvement is a decision you don't make in the moment when they call you mid-year. Community involvement is part of your business plan in August, September, and October, so you can put a budget around it that by design, whenever you're tapped out on community involvement budget, do the calls keep coming or do they stop when they know you're tapped out? They keep coming.
They keep coming.
Yeah, so that's huge. Let's go to number 8, Brooks. That's good. Branding and positioning. I love that.
Growth and scaling, recruiting strategy for agents if you're building a team. And this is key because many single agents think that they are an island in themselves, but your lender, your title company,
Yes.
these are parts of your team, and you should be leveraging them to help you get more. And so that's really key for people to get their mind wrapped around that. Expansion into markets, luxury or commercial. You know, this is another thing that I think is very important is that a lot of agents feel like in order for them to get into the luxury market, they have to have experience in it. And we have seen people who've gotten into luxury markets just by going in neighborhoods and door knocking.
Yeah.
Because of the last thing that the people in that neighborhood actually expected.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. We talked about comparison yesterday. So yesterday we did a mastermind here at our world headquarters where Airwave Studios is located. And someone brought up the Lamborghinis look great on Instagram. But the piece is, comparison is the thief of joy. You never know if Turo is where they got that Lamborghini just for that shot. You never know if that Lamborghini is leased to the tune of $6,000 and $7,000 a month, and they're so upside down and stressed because they have that Lamborghini. You don't have to have a luxury car to be in the luxury market, right or right?
Correct.
And you don't have to wear a Brioni suit that cost you $13,000 before you can afford that just to be a luxury agent. Go to JCPenney and get a nice looking suit. Go get a car that you armor all the tires that looks nice, and you're good to go.
Yeah, the key is that the suit fits you well.
Yep.
It's not necessarily the name brand in it.
So
and then when it comes to the car, it's about you taking care of it.
Yeah.
Because if they see that you are taking care of yourself and you are going to take care of them.
That's good. You're a mere steward of everything you have here anyways. If you don't believe that, pay off your house and see if that's the end of any payments towards your house. You still pay taxes. You still pay insurance. You still pay maintenance. We'll never own anything in this life. We're just mere stewards of it. And so steward your dress well. But another thing is, I'm glad when Jason was saying dress is a part of the budget, it made me think there, like that gives you the freedom to go shop a little bit and bless yourself with a nice suit. $300, $400, $500 suit might be a lot for somebody. But if you've already budgeted for it and you say, I've got to go wear something nice, then you give yourself the freedom to spend that on yourself.
And I think the key is that you think about what are your goals and dreams, because having that goal and dream is what's going to take you through the client that didn't have a good day and therefore they yell at you.
Yeah, that's 100% truth. Let's go to number 9.
And when it comes to number 9, risk management and compliance, you must be a competent agent.
Oh, boy.
If you don't understand the documents that you're filling out, you got to go to remedial classes. You have to partner with the agent like we were talking about that knows what is going on so that you can learn it and that it can be explained to you so that you can explain it to your clients at a high level, or else you're going to need that E&O insurance.
Yeah, errors and omissions insurance. And we talked about the YouTube subscribers last week. And by the way, if you are watching this and consuming this on YouTube, would you do us a favor real quick? First person to find the flip-flops emojis from YouTube that's watching YouTube Live and put in the chat, Jason will personally sing you happy birthday. So let's see if we can get the flip-flops in the chat. This could be awesome. So I want to go to, this was the Real Estate Twins. Was that, how many episodes ago was that?
That was 3.
So 3 episodes, Chelsea and her sister Bailey came in and just dropped so much knowledge on us. But here's one thing that they posted this week. Just because you've been doing it 45 years doesn't mean you've been doing it right. And there are people who will say things to me on the phone like, Jonathan, I've been doing this for 46 years. Don't talk to me that way like I don't know what I'm talking about. And here's the interesting thing. Your tenure doesn't mean you've been doing it correct. And also, the way it was done 46 years ago may not be the way that homes are sold today. And how are homes sold today different? What's just a couple of examples, obviously, that homes are sold differently today than 46 years ago?
The impact of technology on the real estate market. The
Social
fact that,
media.
Yeah.
You can find out so much about a house before you actually get there and look at the house in person.
Yeah, because the Matterport, the 3D, 3D tours are insane now. Matterport technology is incredible. Have you ever sold a house from someone out of state that never stepped foot in it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That
Closed
probably-
on it without them setting foot in it.
It probably wasn't possible 46 years ago.
No.
You
Absolutely.
just feel like you can almost taste it through the screen nowadays.
Schools, crime, you can find out all of that online.
Wow. We have a winner, so you're going to have to sing happy birthday to Christian.
All right, I got this. We'll end the show with the happy birthday.
All right, here we go, Christian. In the key of F sharp.
Well, okay, this is going to be in Italian, so I don't know what F sharp in Italian is.
Okay.
Tanti auguri a te, tanti auguri a te.
Tanti auguri, cara mio. Tanti auguri a te.
Absolutely. Man, what did y'all think of Jason's performance there? I didn't know if we would have anybody live on YouTube, but since we did, you guys get a blessing today for tuning in live on YouTube. Man, that was absolutely disgusting. Incredible, Jason. Beautiful pipes.
Hey, y'all asked for it.
Yeah, here's the thing. Jason, he might have another career in music. So if real estate doesn't work out for you, I think there's somebody that will want you to come sing at their birthday party. They might be in the chat.
That came from many years of working at Macaroni Grill
Wow.
and singing happy birthday in Italian.
Fantastic. Jason was begging. He's like, Brooks, would you ever give me a moment to sing on the podcast?
Really
He asked
did.
that every
Please.
single week.
Please let me sing.
Brooks finally approved it. So good
It
job.
was okay with me.
Look at Christian Solace in the chat. He says, just like I remembered. Lana Stanley said he learned that from an I Love Lucy episode, period, and a laughy emoji. Do you watch I Love Lucy? No comment. All right. Barry Bledsoe says, good helium, Jason Breitenstein. Travis Addington says 15 minutes after posting. Jason definitely has a face for radio.
Yes,
oh, my
I do.
goodness. That's amazing. Okay, I'll take that back. There you go. Lana took it back. You guys, this is so good. I'm going to go over them one more time for anybody that wasn't able to hear all of them and maybe is just hopping in. So here real quickly are the 9 steps to business planning in 2026. Number 1, your executive summary. Number 2, your market analysis. Number 3, services and revenue model. Number 4, marketing and lead gen strategy. Number 5, operations and team structure. Number 6, your financial plan. Number 7, branding and positioning. Number 8, growth and scaling plan. And number 9, risk management and compliance. And I'm going to give you a little tip. The most overlooked parts in real estate business plans are lead generation systems and financial discipline. Many agents underestimate how much consistent marketing, follow-up, and financial planning drive long-term success. I hope you guys will commit to 2 things, if nothing else, from Jason, Brooks, Taylor, and I today. Commit to a follow-up plan next year in your business. Commit to a lead generation plan next year in business. I want everybody to write down that's listening to this podcast the 5 places that you're going to find business next year. And I'm going to go around the circle before we end, and I'm going to hear the 5 sources of business. I'm going to tell you my 5 sources of business, and we're going to just tell you, here's an example of what we do. My 5 are internet leads, social media marketing, which those are kind of the same, but internet leads, social media marketing, open houses, my sphere of influence. I want to remind my sphere of influence that I'm a realtor every 6 days, because I don't ever want Uncle Ted to buy a house with
Jason
Breitenstein because he forgets that Jonathan Cook is in real estate.
That's a bad idea.
And number 5, community involvement. We host the Afterglow here at our headquarters. It's an open-door community event every Friday, 8:15 to 9:15 on the campus of 100 South Texas Street in Crowley. If you're ever in the area, 8:15 to 9:15 on a Friday morning, it's for anybody and everybody, and we would love to have you guys. And so that is one way. We don't look for business for that, but we are very involved. We just cut a $4,700 check to Crowley ISD to help their football program, to be on every cup and every T-shirt and have our banner in the football stadium, because we pour into football in Crowley ISD, the city where our headquarters are. And so those are our 5 lead generation strategies. Brooks and Jason, who wants to take what yours are? What do you focus on for lead gen?
So ours are pretty much the same. We categorize them with inbound, outbound, social, sphere of influence, and then community.
That's awesome.
Exactly. And the only one that he didn't have in there was open houses, but that's also kind of more of a outbound prospecting is the way we consider that.
Yeah, and before we were talking this morning, we were pre-producing this show, and we were talking about ahas from every week. Like, we learned something huge from the Texas Real Estate Twins. We learned something huge from Megan Reap that came on about Mavwicks, and her CEO was so powerful. Chris was his name.
Yes.
So powerful. But we've had ahas every week. And so I want to share an aha. Maybe you can share one too, and you share one too. And if you have any ahas in the chat, please bless us so we know how to take these episodes. What was valuable to you guys? What was an aha today? What was something that needs to be repeated? Drop that in the chat, maybe an aha you had. My aha from this episode was whenever you said online marketing, online strategy a part of your business plan, but also offline strategy for your business plan. Because I focus really hard on online strategy. I have a TikTok, I have a Snapchat, I have an Instagram, I have a Facebook, I have a YouTube channel, we have a website. Our team has all of those things. But also focusing, I don't think we've ever business planned around offline strategy, and that was huge for me today. Great aha today. Did one of y'all have an aha from today?
Yeah, so mine's actually the opposite. I feel like I have always focused more on the offline aspects of lead generation. But I found myself a couple of years back realizing that I was a secret agent.
Oh, wow.
And that, I did not do a good enough job of letting the community, letting my sphere of influence and all those people remind them that I'm in real estate every day.
Wow.
And so I've made a much better effort, but that's something that is not natural for me. You come from a different world than a lot of us, and you think differently. You think social.
Yeah, I think guerrilla marketing. And it's kind of interesting because social media, people call it social media. I call it guerrilla marketing. Like, if there is a place where we can remind people that we are real estate agents and it's affordable or even free, like the cork boards at donut shops are free, why not be there?
Yeah.
Tractor Supply Company, when you go to their restroom, you have to go through a hallway to go to their public restroom. And on the hallway of every Tractor Supply Company, TSC, they have a cork board. And there's realtors, there's roofers, there's landscapers, there's people that mow grass. I try to get on every cork board that I possibly can around the community with a business card, because those little spots, you never know when someone's using the restroom and they look to the left and like, oh, a realtor, and grab your card. You never know.
Yeah. And just like those younger agents, I shouldn't say younger because they they'd been working for several years. But just like them going to the flea market and finding business opportunities, I have to teach myself and constantly remind myself that everything's an opportunity.
That's so good.
And you do a really good job at that, Jonathan, about taking everyday life experiences and turning those into a guerrilla marketing opportunity.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because when you think about what we do specifically with real estate, everybody needs what we have to offer because everybody needs a place to live. And we can do the renting side, we can do the selling side, we can do the buying side, we can do the farm and ranch side. And then once you get into experience, everybody wants a lake house, everybody wants a ranch to go dove hunt. I helped Taylor Perky's family buy a wonderful ranch where they go spend time on the Brazos River. So this is something that we have that everybody needs. It's kind of like iPhones. Apple, why are they a big company? Because they're in the hands of almost every single person.
Why are they a big company, Brooks Summer?
Because they provide an answer to people's issues, which is communication.
Absolutely. What kind of phone do you have? I'm just kidding. Brooks, what's an aha from today?
My aha from today is very similar to Jason's. It's one thing that I've been working to be better at, and that's social media.
Yeah.
I, too, am a very more closed-off person. Don't necessarily like sharing all the intimate day-to-day things. And so the one thing that I've decided is that I want to work on social media and education, which is one of the things that is my passion, is to help people understand the benefits of home ownership and then what it actually looks like to go through the process of buying a house.
Yeah, and I'm going to give you the 30-second wrap-up here as we close this episode. I can't believe we're already at an hour here. But Barry Bledsoe had a real important question in the chat just a minute ago. He also says, I must be a gorilla in marketing because I come in and break stuff. Barry, you're fired. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Barry's a great team member. He's so valuable. There's Barry breaking something in the other room. I just heard it. Shoot, he's breaking something else. Maybe that's just him stepping. Yeah, it sounds like him stepping. Yeah, he's stepping again. Here we go. Our interest rates going down. So this is kind of interesting. We have a window between now and September 16th and 17th, which is, what is that date? That is the next time the Fed meets and the Fed speaks. So September 16th and 17th, we know better than a 90% chance the Fed is going to cut rates by a quarter point. But when the Fed rate cuts, mortgage rates follow. A lot of people have a misconception that the Fed rate is a mortgage rate. That's not true. But we do know that the mortgage rates follow what the Fed does. And the Fed's overnight rate is intended to drop in September and then highly likely again in December. So we just last Friday dropped to the lowest rates that we've been at all year. And so between now and September 16th, we have this window where money's the cheapest it's been all year. But whenever the news starts reporting that the Fed dropped the rate September 18th, pent-up demand is going to blow through the dam. Then all these buyers hit the market because money's cheap and it's being reported as cheap. So you have this little window from today on the Infinite Agent podcast. Right now we're telling you, find an agent, find your property. Between now and September 18th, I think is this window of the best deals we can have all year.
Yeah, and I would like to say that, and I'm not talking to Barry necessarily, but just agents in general, be careful not to wish for the opposite market that we're in.
So good.
Because there are agents right now, doesn't matter what the rates are, doesn't matter what the rates do, there are agents out there today having the best day of their career, the best month of their career, the best year of their career. And we meet with them and talk to these agents on a daily basis. So if the rates do go down, great. If they don't go down, great. But you have the ability to keep winning no matter what.
Yeah, and I'm going to nominate Best Dressed of the episode because we haven't been doing this. But today's Best Dressed host, Taylor Perky.
Taylor Perky.
And with that, we're going to end this episode. Love you guys. We'll see you next Wednesday, 3:30, same bat time, same bat place. Thank you for consuming the Infinite Agent podcast. You guys behave in the chat. It's been diabolical. We'll see you next Wednesday.